All right, family. So we are live once again. Let's go ahead and make sure this time that everything is working correctly. I found what the problem was earlier. Let's go ahead and let the intro play, and then we will get to it. All right, family. So we're live, and first things first, let's make sure you guys can hear me pretty good. Let me know you guys can hear me by pressing 1. Thank you guys for being here. Gail Thornberry, Tina, Marty, Miss Chestnut, Katie. For the cause of helping others. Thank you for being here. All right, so we are going to play a video, and I'm pretty sure the audio is going to be a lot better than it was earlier today when we were live. This video is probably going to piss off some people. You guys are going to take a look at this video, alleged child abuse of special needs children. Now, AV News crew asked me if I could share this video, put it out there. So that's what we are going to do. Lulu West, West up, West up. All right. Thank you guys for hitting 1. And I'm basically just going to sit here and keep my mouth shut for a little bit. We're going to hit play. Make sure you guys can hear the actual video before we go on.
May I please have your name?
Leslie Garcia Lara.
Okay, and Ms. Garcia Lara, can you tell us about your plight? What?
Can you guys hear that? Can you guys hear the interviewer speaking to Miss Leslie? How is this person still? Oh, because of StreamYard. Can you guys hear this person? Okay. All right, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. We're going to let it play for a little bit. I'm going to actually share a link where people can join in after this video is done playing, and we could talk about it, and we will discuss some of the case involving our missing Cal City boys, and we're actually going to look at some footage of them as well, of their case up there. All right, here we go.
What happened to your child?
On Friday afternoon at around 3:15, we got a phone call from the sheriff's department stating that our daughter Isabella was one of the 4 victims of child abuse by a teacher at Quartz Hill High School. I was devastated. I was frantic. My husband had to take over the call because I couldn't.
You guys remember just the other day, I put up a video about that counselor, that school counselor from out here in Antelope Valley that had 5 children or young teenagers at her home that were reported missing 3 weeks ago, and then they found them at this lady's house, a school counselor. Well, Quartz Hill is right here as well in the Antelope Valley. And so now this is 2 cases of 2 different school officials that were up to no good. I'm glad you guys can all hear the live stream pretty well. I don't know why this person is still on here. Let me see. Probably because it's StreamYard. Let me see something here. Okay, let me hit play and you guys check it out. Then let me know what you think. At the end, I will share a link for you can join.
My husband had to take over the call because I could not.
But make sure you guys listen to her story. It's sad. They're talking about this little girl right here in this wheelchair.
Frantic. My husband had to take over the call because I could not even fathom what they had done to my daughter. They didn't call us from the school. They didn't let us go pick her up. They just let it happen and just sent her home on the school bus like nothing. Detective. We. I was devastated. I was 3:15. We got a phone call.
Okay, and Miss Garcia Lara, can you tell us about your plight? What happened to your child?
Um, on Friday afternoon at around 3:15, we got a phone call from the sheriff's department stating that our daughter Isabella was one of the 4 victims of child abuse by a teacher at Quartz Hill High School. Um, we, I was devastated. I was frantic. My husband had to take over the call because I could not even fathom what they had done to my daughter. They didn't call us from the school. They didn't let us go pick her up. They just let it happen and just sent her home on the school bus like nothing. Detectives weren't able to look at my daughter or anything. They just sent her home. From my understanding, Ruth Wenger is the teacher who was hurting the children in different ways. They're mostly wheelchair bound children. Um, According to them, she was forcibly holding my daughter's hands to the point of pain to learn how to write. Because my daughter has the mentality of a 2 to 3 year old. Um, and she's 16, but she can walk sometimes, with assistance. But mostly she's in her wheelchair. Um, and if she would not comply, she was considered I'm so sorry. She was considered a problem in the class. So if she was ever loud, they would isolate her so she couldn't see the other kids or be part of the class, and they would surround her with screens. So she wouldn't. She's sensory. She has sensory issues. So if you put her anywhere by herself, she freaks out even more. So there is overhand techniques, but you should never hold it so hard where you cause pain or bruising. And after she got home, when we were told that they were forcing her hands, we were told to check her hands, and we saw that there's bruising on her hand, and there's a lump that was protruding from the top of her hand next to her wrist. And we took her to urgent care, and they had to do x-rays. So we're waiting on follow-up, and we have to see her pediatrician because the school never told us. And I guess this happened days ago, prior to the teacher being removed on Thursday. The teacher was removed Thursday, and, but we weren't informed until Friday afternoon.
Ms. Lara, so how did this abuse come about? How did it come to light?
The teacher's aides were reporting it. According to the sheriff, they made complaints, and there's a picture of another child who's wheelchair bound, and they had put a blanket over their face, and that's why the sheriffs were informed and got involved. And then other situations started to pop up. I guess there was other claims that my daughter was being held forcefully or isolated. And that's how it came about. But from what I understand from the sheriffs, there was many complaints against Ruth Wenger.
Now, about how long do you think this has been going on prior to this year?
Probably months. There was a point this year where my daughter, prior to her IEP meeting, which we had, she was becoming really aggressive, and she's not somebody who doesn't like school. She loves school. She'll sit in her chair and wait for us to go put her on the bus, and we're like, it's the weekend, mommy. You know, there's no school. But she loved it. And then all of a sudden, she hated school. She threw a tantrum when she had to go to school. And we were all worried. We were communicating with the teacher, and she's like, I don't know why. I don't know why. And we didn't understand what was going on. So we had the IEP meeting, and I asked her, is there something going on in the classroom? Because she doesn't like school right now, and it's not like it. And all of a sudden, the teacher's tone changed. And she's like, no, I don't know. And right after that was Thanksgiving break, and she changed. All of a sudden, she didn't go to school. She was no longer aggressive. She got sick for a little bit, so she didn't go to school right after. But when she went back, she was calm again because she wasn't dealing with the teacher anymore. And it was better for a long time. Well, not a long time, for at least a couple months. And then just again, my daughter recently started getting, aggressive, and that's not her typical MO. It's just not like her. She gets along with the teacher's aides. They're really nice, but I was never allowed to talk to the teacher's aides. And that's a first for us. The special needs community, most of the teachers always allow us to talk to the aides and things like that. But she would say, you can't talk to my staff, just talk to me. Don't talk to anybody. And it was very, like if she saw a teacher's aide drop her off with us and even have a small conversation, she would run over and stop the conversation. So I believe this has been going on for quite a while, and from what I understand, she's been moved from 3 schools. So something's being hidden by the district. And the fact that they took 3 days or 2 days to call the sheriffs is ridiculous. The fact that they didn't tell us anything, it's a 3-day weekend, and they have all of us in a panic. I'm pretty sure the other parents are frantic as well, because here we are, we have no one to contact. The school's closed, the district's closed, and they left us with nothing. No information. We just got a call, a terrible, frightening call from the sheriff saying, your kid's been abused in some way. And you just have to imagine the worst. That's all you can do. You imagine the worst. And you just worry, and you just want your child with you. And you have to think, what else could they have done to them? You just have to think, oh my God, why is this happening to your kid? When you trust these people, it takes a special kind of person to take care of a special needs person. And you trust them. And you trust the district to do the right thing. And they're not doing the right thing. They're hiding something. And the fact that they won't call, they won't warn us, give us a choice to keep our child home once you find something out. If you knew the teacher was pulled on Thursday, if you knew Thursday, why did you let me send my child again to school? I should have known. I should have been aware.
And now, as I understand it, did the sheriff's department give you a report number for that specific complaint that they have?
Yes, they did. We had to call back because they gave it to us the first time, but I was frantic, so I couldn't register it. But the detective gave us information because there was she's being charged with child abuse, and according to them, it was egregious. So you imagine these kids can't defend themselves. They're nonverbal, so they can't say. She can sit here and say she didn't do anything, and who are they? She's the only one that can defend herself verbally, physically. She's the only one. Sorry, sweetie. I'm so sorry. We have to do something. We have to do something. We have to make noise. I'm not somebody who wants to go public. I'm very private. But this, I need to go public. This is the second time this has happened to our family. The first time was with the Palmdale School District, and we had to move her out of the district. and the school wouldn't speak to us until we called the sheriff's department. I contacted the AV News at that time, and they made a broadcast then. And that's why I'm doing this now, because if you make noise, then they stop. If you make noise, they have to stop. They have to stop. Sorry.
How long has this teacher been her teacher?
She's been her teacher since her freshman year, but the first year was COVID, so it was on the computer. So her sophomore year, she went in class, and this is her junior year at Parental.
And about how old is this teacher?
I'm sorry.
How old is she? The teacher. How old is she?
She's probably in her 60s.
Okay. So you think she's run out of patience, or do you think she's been like this before?
She's kind of erratic. Sometimes, we kind of thought maybe she's a little just kooky, because if we ever picked her up instead of put her on the bus, she'd be like trying to tell you her politics, and I'm like, no, thank you. Or she's always saying, oh, don't talk to the aides, they're all idiots or they're useless. And I'm like, aides are usually really nice. It takes a really kind of heart to take care of a special needs child. So I found her a little abrasive this last year, being very forward on how she talks about her aides and treats them. So I was going to bring that up, and then all this situation happened because she was speaking about one young man in her class who's an aide, and she was calling him an idiot. And this was like 3 weeks ago. I was like, I don't like it. Something's wrong. Something's definitely wrong. And I told my husband, I can't trust her completely. But we didn't think it was this. I thought maybe she was just very abrasive. But I would hope she would never hurt children. But it feels like you can't trust anybody. It's like, how do you send your kid back? And I feel bad for her because Isabella loves school. She loves it. And now I'm going to have to keep her home. And it's isolation for her as well. And it's like punishing her, but I can't trust the district to do the right thing. There are good teachers out there. I know plenty of them. I know plenty of parents who've dealt with great teachers. It's a very tight-knit community. But something went wrong, and no one is speaking up, and I have to. I'm her advocate. Her dad's her advocate. Our whole family is her advocate, and we have to do something. And I'm asking all the parents in Ms. Wanger's class to please come forward if you have any information. Let everybody know what's going on, because they're just going to keep hiding it. They're just going to keep sweeping it under the rug, and it's not okay. We have to do something for the kids. My name is Garcia Lara, and this is my daughter, Isabella, and I get permission for her to be on television. It's okay. I'm sorry, Mommy. It's okay.
And your phone number, please.
66. You want the paper? You want my paper? You want this one? Okay.
Okay, so this is.
All right. So that's extremely, that's sad. that there's a teacher that's out here doing that type of stuff to this little girl.
Okay, so this is,
That ain't right. That ain't right. Man, it leaves you speechless, like what in the freak, So that's right up over here where I'm at, the neck of the woods, right here in Quartz Hill, just a couple miles away from where I'm at. So I think, we're gonna have to start going out there and monitoring this lady, this teacher who's out there doing that type of stuff. I wonder how many other kids she's done that to. And I don't think, did they say that she has been arrested for this already, or has she not been arrested for this yet? Yeah. So I mean, if you joined the live stream a little late, you might want to, go back to the beginning of the video and watch the whole thing. But there's a school teacher out here that apparently is abusing special needs students, children. She's being charged with 4 counts of child abuse. And I wonder if she's been arrested yet for it. That's crazy. That is crazy. Let me share this link real quick. So if any of you guys want to join, just click this link and feel free to speak on it. There's a link right there in the chat. Go ahead and join. What's it say here? The board can do criminal charges. Even that other lady that had those 4 to 5 teenage girls in her home, she hasn't even been charged with anything. And she knew that those girls were reported missing for over 3 weeks. Oh, okay. So, I'm going to find out and look into it a little bit more. Maybe you're right, Danny. Maybe she did get arrested, and we'll find out. Anyone touches my child that's in the school district, I'm going to catch a case. And yeah, you would. I mean, they would arrest your ass real quick. Nowadays, parents are considered to be terrorists. If you try to go to one of those, one of the school board meetings or something like that, and you speak up and voice your opinion, they'll have a deputy walk in there and put handcuffs on you. It's almost like you have no voice, or our voices are being purposely silenced, and they use that big T word, the domestic terrorist. And these, I see videos all the time popping up everywhere of good parents trying to speak up, and they're getting put in handcuffs. They're getting taken out of board meetings and thrown in the back of squad cars just because they're concerned about their child. Somebody earlier said that, you should pull your kids out of school and homeschool them. And it's true. That needs to happen. So I'm going to share the link one more time. If anybody wants to join, go ahead. We'll give it about a minute or so, and if nobody does that, then we'll move on to the next. Of course they're not. Our amendments are not being respected. And it's true. They're not being respected. As a matter of fact, you could pretty much walk up to any law enforcement official out there and just ask them, what's the First Amendment? And they're not going to know. It's sad. It's sad because a lot of people don't seem to know. They're putting a cap on, everything, and they're calling it, what I was saying earlier, domestic terrorism. Just because you want to stand up and voice your opinion, and we're living in some strange times, folks, and it's just going to get worse. It's about to get real bad real soon. All right, let me see here. Let me see if these videos wait. Sassy says, I have 2 special needs sons, and one was choked by his teacher. He had panic attack, and they had their security officers put my son in handcuffs. Went to court. The school deleted the tapes. That's scandalous. That sounds like something they would do. My child mother's got it put on her record. Wow, that's crazy. All right. I'm trying to check to see if these videos transferred over here. That way we could take a look at this footage real quick. Hopefully it doesn't boot me off. Let me I gotta open up another page real quick just to see if it's on here. 1 second, guys. Yeah, but that's extremely sad, man, that these people in these schools, I mean, you really don't know. You really don't know once you drop your child off to a school, and you got to read over all those forms too. Like, you're basically handing them off to some other people. Like, here you go, you're in your care now, do what you want. You got to read all the fine print, all the stuff that's in between the pig fat. And I'm really surprised that they did arrest that lady. And if they did, she's probably not sitting in no jail cell right now. To beat the 3rd round of cancer. We got to keep for the cause of helping others lifted in prayer. You'll beat that 3rd round of cancer for sure. How is this? Let me see here. I don't know why StreamYard is not letting me remove. Let me see. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't click me off. I'm going to open up this other screen real quick just to see if this video downloaded. I want you guys to take a look at some footage that you guys haven't seen yet. Let me see here. Click here to download. Let me download this here.